Connecting the Roads of Rural Nevada. Presented by the Nevada Rural Transit Association and sponsored by the Nevada's Governor's Council on Developmental Disabilities.
Welcome to Nevada Rural Transit Association's Preparing for Travel Training. This video is part of a series that teaches the Natural Support Team the skills to teach travel training to people in their circle of care. In the previous video, we discussed setting goals and designing the course. In this video, we will discuss the required travel skills, appropriate behavior, and self-advocacy. This video will refer to the travel training assessment as if it is already complete. However, you may be completing it simultaneously with these videos so that they can help you. Now, this is the last video that covers Chapter 3, so your goal should be to finish the travel training assessment soon after this video. All of the skills discussed in this video should be included in your travel training assessment, and although we are listing these with a 100% goal in mind, remember that your student may start out with a much lower skill set and need to build up to the appropriate skill level with your assistance and some practice. Situational awareness is the beginning of the discussion of required travel skills. These are skills that allow a person to be aware of their surroundings, things happening, and people within that environment. One area of awareness that needs to be focused on is the area of personal space, or where your personal space ends and the personal space of another person begins. Another area to focus on is awareness of your environment. Your environment includes the activities and people within your immediate surroundings. It also includes understanding that information, events, and even your own actions have the potential to impact your environment. The ability to recognize and respond to dangerous or unsafe situations and then respond appropriately. Now, these situations may be a direct threat, or they have the potential to pose a threat to your personal safety. The ability to understand what appropriate public behavior is, and what behavior is appropriate when riding the bus. Another skill set that is very important when traveling independently is traveling safely. These skills include, at a minimum, the following. Each student crosses the street safely, identifies and boards the correct vehicle in a chosen mode of transportation. They can problem solve. They demonstrate decision-making skills. They follow directions. They can initiate action. They maintain appropriate behavior. They interact appropriately with strangers. They handle unexpected situations or problems. They recognize and avoid dangerous situations and obstacles. And they can ask for assistance and request help from an appropriate source, such as a community helper. It is important for the trainee to understand appropriate behavioral expectations on public transportation. The student may have involuntary behaviors or a lack of understanding of the correct responses to social interactions. If that's the case, the travel trainer and trainee need to figure out ways to practice avoiding, modifying, or eliminating unacceptable behavior. They also need to understand that there may be consequences of unacceptable behavior. Transit agencies are required to have a written disciplinary policy which outlines the consequences of inappropriate behavior. The consequences are usually set by an incremental disciplinary action from verbal warnings all the way up to suspension until the behavior is corrected. They are also required to give time for correction, especially to those with disabilities that limit a person's ability to control the behavior, such as with Tourette's syndrome. You could refer to the form on the NRTA's website, Suggested Lesson Plan Worksheet, Appropriate Behavior. Help the trainee to identify specific situations where a person must behave a certain way, and what the consequences are if they don't. Together, review the local rules for using the local public transportation system. Discuss the list that you made earlier. Go into more depth about the consequences and what could be done to avoid this negative outcome. Then turn it around and make a positive consequence by using the appropriate behavior in the same scenario. Conducting yourself in a manner that promotes safety and conforms to the rules of bus travel must be mastered during the travel training, and it might be in your best interest to practice privately before taking it into the field. The posted rules and prohibited behavior should be reviewed with the trainee. Proper decorum on the bus also includes, but is not limited to, being properly seated, only taking one seat, keeping your feet out of the aisle, not using profanity, and not disturbing the other passengers. Displaying appropriate behavior is a form of respecting the feelings of others. However, it wouldn't be balanced if it's only one-sided. That's why there's another important skill to learn, and that's the art of self-advocacy. Self-advocacy, which can also be called assertiveness, is one of the most important skills to teach in travel training. For some people, diminished self-esteem based on an unwillingness to expose or otherwise disclose a disability can cause a lack of assertiveness necessary to seek assistance when required. The trainee needs to be able to seek assistance and take action in a variety of cases. The trainee also needs to be aware of his or her rights, and if they're not being met, how to get them addressed. You can refer to the form on the NRTA's website Suggested Lesson Plan Worksheet, Learning to be a Self-Advocate. Start by asking the trainee what he or she thinks self-advocacy is. Discuss the answers. Break it down into 2 words if you need to, and lead them to the definition. The key to self-advocacy is effective communication, because you have to speak up in order to be heard. Ask the trainee to identify some situation where a person needs to demonstrate self-advocacy. Discuss possible outcomes to each situation. Determine whether the solution included positive self-advocacy or negative. If it's negative, find another solution. Identify one more situation where the self-advocacy skill also includes asking for help. Discuss why this one is so important not only to riding the bus, but to the trainee's entire life. Teach the trainee how to file complaints, comments, and even compliments based on local procedures. One part of being a good self-advocate is knowing what to do when you've been treated unfairly. Now this concludes this video and Chapter 3, Preparing for Travel Training. You're ready to complete the travel training assessment, set your goals, and design a plan with a goal date. And once you've done this, we're ready to move on to the next video, Chapter 4, Part A, How We Travel.